Next up, we've got a session on the sunrise industry today that is gathering a lot of momentum. Esports, the new kid on the block.
Hello and welcome to this special session of eMind Rocks, where we're going to be talking about esports, the new kid on the block. And I'm joined on this session by a very special set of guests. My name is Ayush Elavadi, and I'm joined by Vineet Karnik, Head for Sports, Esports and Entertainment for South Asia Group M. And if you're into India's gaming scene, my second guest is a man who needs no introduction, pro gamer, 2 words, Dynamo Gaming. Aditya
Thank you.
Sawant, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Guys, I want to start off straight off the block, talking about the new kid on the block, esports. And Adi, I want to start with you because your journey has been a very interesting one over the past couple of years, especially from the days of going to a cyber cafe and gaming, and then moving on to your gaming PCs, PlayStations, and now the world of mobile gaming. How have things changed for you, and where did that journey begin?
I mean, it all began when I was in school, and I was like a normal average kid. Used to likes to play games. I used to play outdoor games as well, but moreover, I got into PlayStations and everything. I used to spend my breakfast money or some like canteen money to play games in cafe. So I used to spend of like, I guess, 5 to 10 rupees on that time. I think it was 2008 or 8 or 9, I guess. Not sure about that. So we used to play PlayStation games, and then like after some time I bought a laptop because that time I didn't have a good internet connection. I used to have BSNL or something, like aisa kuch tha. I'm not sure about this. And then I used to record gameplays. I used to edit on myself, only just cut paste cut. That's it. No extra editing skills, nothing. And I used to upload that videos on YT channel. And as I told you, I used to have a BSNL. The connection was very low. I used to upload on night, and then it got uploaded by the time of at 11:30 in the morning. So that kind of speed I used to have back in 2011 or 12 or something. But then after 14 or 15, when I was in college, I bought my first ever PC. I still have that PC here on my table. I will look to it, and all these memories get into my again. So I bought my first PC. I used to play CS, then Dota, Battlefield, so many like vintage games and everything. From 2010 to 2015, the channel was very low. It was very low key. The subscriber base was only, I guess, 1,000, 2,000. That's it. After 2015 or 16, no, after the evolution of Geo. See, after the evolution of Geo, the channel went this high. I'm getting a lot of subscribers. I'm gaining views as well. I'm experiencing a lot of things on my channel. I'm playing a lot of games as well. Then the game called PUBG that came into the market, and I used to stream that game as well. After, I guess, 2 years, 1 or 2 years, the mobile version of that game, the PUBG, that came into the market. And now it's totally new game for India. That is Battlegrounds Mobile India, BGMI. So I myself, I'm a content creator. I'm not 100% esports player, but I played few sports back in, I think, 17 and 18. I went to Taiwan. We went to Malaysia as well to play games. So I'm full time a content creator player. I create content. That's it. I play games. I live stream on my YouTube channel. I interact with lots of people, lots of viewers and everyone. So we enjoy games. So basically, what esports is something a different genre, and content creation, streaming is something different. I prefer myself as a content creator. So esports, when you're in esports, you have to practice for like 15 to 20 hours a day, and I only practice for like 3 to 4 hours a day. That's it. So that's something I could call myself as a content creator. Yeah.
But Adi, it's fine either way. It's us, Vineet and me joining you, and I am what you officially call a noob gamer. So it's perfectly cool. You're still the pro gamer in the conversation. And it's interesting you say that, right? Vineet, I want to bring you in on this one because the current state of esports in India is an interesting one. It's growing rapidly. We've seen reports talking about how revenues are going to quadruple in the next 4 or 5 years. And you're seeing a lot of youngsters coming on board. Is this primarily because of, should I say, well, the sudden digitization or everyone getting access to 4G at affordable rates. When did this boom happen? And what are the factors that you really attribute behind this boom?
Yeah, that's great. So just to give you a quick heads up and answer your first question, uh, uh, to me, so the gaming was always a part of our DNA. I mean, as kids, I guess you and me also would have played games a lot. I mean, so it's been there somewhere for a while, right? Now, what actually happened? I think the one thing, if the propulsion of the entire gaming actually started in 2010, 2012 to me, and actually it just went up the moment you are enter the 4G networks, the entire mobile interfaces, the mobile phone, came into the world. And if you know, India obviously is the mobile first market when it comes to gaming, right? So I think from 2014, 2015, it actually started taking off, and pandemic only helped it to just take onto a different level altogether. So just to give you a quick perspective on the numbers, the number of people, I mean, there are about 30 to 35% people who actually started playing a game every day post the pandemic. And today, if you have to look at the numbers, I mean, it has gone up by almost 14x of what we had in 2015, 2016. So from a momentum perspective, from a gamer's perspective, the time is now and how, right? I mean, we have seen the announcement of Asian Games in
Correct.
2022, where gaming is going to be a part of it, right? So I think we have embarked the journey where this is definitely going to be in the momentum for some time. There are a couple of steps the industry will have to take going forward for it to sustain, obviously, because once we are out of the pandemic and out of the entire lockdown ecosystem, a lot of things will change because the priorities will change. Okay, so I was just reading a report 2 days back, I think launched by InMobi, if I'm not wrong, where the number of women participation in gaming and how those numbers have actually changed, and the number of downloads in terms of that post the lockdown. I think it's phenomenal. I think the time is absolutely right, and I guess we have the right people on this panel to actually prove it to the whole world that we are here and how, and here to stay and scale.
Absolutely. You mentioned a bit about the Asian Games and also the sort of recognition perhaps that we'll get in a virtual version of the Olympics as well. I think it's a fascinating space to be in. And Adi, you're perfectly poised because I know that your channel, as a content creator, you said, of course, the streaming part of it and the esports part of it are two different pieces of the pie. But largely in terms of brand Dynamo Gaming, your clan, your team, your squad, this is something that you all can also competitively do. This was not possible when I started off playing FIFA 98 and FIFA 2000. I think by FIFA 2016, these sort of esports leagues had started coming up and we had these sort of semi-pro competitions. But for you, getting back to your journey, I find it fascinating, Adi. That boom that happened for you from a few thousand subscribers to now nearly heading to 1 crore subscribers. It must have been phenomenal, right? I mean, now at every nook and corner when you're out and about, people must be recognizing you. Do they call you Dynamo? Do they call you Adi? How does it go?
So basically, right now, my friends as well, they call me Dynamo. The friends who I used to study with me, the friends who are in my college, my school as well, they are like calling me Dynamo as well, So only my family must call me Adi. That's it. When I go out, people are like, "Oh, bro, I think he's Dynamo. Dynamo ja raha hai shayad." So मैं like पहले, I like cover my like face and everything with mask, and if they come up, they tell me like, "Bro, are you Dynamo?" I said, "नहीं bro, तो कुछ गलतफहमी हुआ तेरे को, मैं वो नहीं हूँ." Then they're like, "नहीं bro, हमने पहचान लिया आपको आपकी आवाज से." So like people are like giving a very positive response to this as well, and when I go outside, I get much of good vibes with people, and it's going something. I'm getting a lot of good vibes with all the people and all the subscribers when I go outside.
That's interesting, because at the end of the day, when you're playing Battle Royale games and some of these games online, people recognize you with your particular character, with the particular outfits you worn in that particular match, or if you're wearing a ghillie suit and you're hiding somewhere in the grass. And the second thing they do is they only connect with you through voice, similar to radio. And there's that engagement factor. I know this is a weird thing, right? Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg and all talk about the metaverse and how things are going to change, right? But PUBG, Fortnite, now Battleground, Free Fire, you're essentially interacting with 90 or 100 other people. Have there been instances where they come to you in the digital form because they know that this is Dynamo, this is Adi, and they come up to you, because this is a different level of engagement as well, right? And that makes for great content as well, by the way.
Yeah. Actually, what I feel is ki, if you're playing any kind of games, be it like PUBG, be it like Battlegrounds, or be it FIFA or anything, there should be a charm in your gameplay. There should be charm in your personality as well. There should be something like that. People should look up to you. They should be like, whatever kind of games you play, they should be like, I want to be like that guy. I want to be like, I want to get something from that guy in me as well. So I feel like you should be spread some positivity. You should be spread some like anything by your content or anything. That's all I can get it.
No, absolutely, Adi. And also you mentioned your parents. Were they supportive throughout the process, or was it like, nahi yaar, isko engineer banna hai, isko MBA karna hai? What was the scene at home like? Was there any sort of opposition to Adi becoming Dynamo Gaming?
Yeah, absolutely. There was like at starting, see, I tell you, my dad is a professor. He retired just like last year only. So, अब आप guess कर लो कि professor का लड़का. So, there's a mental pressure always कि like मेरा बेटे हमेशा like 90% लाना चाहिए. So there's that kind of mentality I faced in my family. But then I told my parents कि like I'm an average kid. मुझे 70-80% आ जाते. That I'm fine with that. Okay, give me like maybe 1 year or 2 year. I'll prove you guys. Like it's something I told them. I guess I was in. I think I just passed the school, 10th standard, and I asked for like 1 year only for my YouTube career, YouTube journey. And as I told you, my YouTube channel got boomed in 2014 and 15. As there was an evolution of Geo. So my parents were like, okay, do one thing. आप एक काम करो, आप पढ़ाई भी करो. Okay, आप then इतना time अपने YouTube career को भी दो, and then game को इतना time दो. So I used to study for like 3 to 4 hours a day. Okay, and then I used to work on my YouTube channel for like one hours, and then gaming and everything for like 1 and 2 hours. That's it. So then I used to upload videos and everything. When my parents got motivated, my parents used to start motivating me when I told them that I earn 6,000 rupees from my YouTube channel. Okay, I cannot recall the year, but that was my first salary from YouTube. Okay, it was somewhere like something which dollars. I'm not getting what exact figure was that.
100,
yeah, 100, 120 something like. Okay, so that was like 6,000 rupees in Indian currency. मैंने actually वो पैसे निकाले, and then I gave it to my dad. I said, Papa, this is I got from my YouTube, the game I'm playing and whatever. So let's do one thing. I'll study. Okay, you're giving the bill of Wi-Fi, right? So I'll pay the Wi-Fi bill. Okay, I'll pay the Wi-Fi bill. At least इतना तो मैं कर ही सकता हूँ, because 6,000 I'm getting from that games. So I'll pay the Wi-Fi bill, and I'll study as well. I'll do college and everything. But at least just give me 2 hours or 3 hours a day, so I can focus on my YT career. That's it. So ये सारा चीजें चला till 2015 and 14 and 15, and then they saw me, getting bigger and bigger in YT. They saw जितने भी like क्या कहते हैं, my friends used to come at home and they used to play with me. My friends used to come at home and they used to tell my dad, sir, आपका बेटा ऐसा खेल रहा है, आपका बेटे को हम इस गेम में जानते हैं, आपके बेटे का ये नाम है. My father used to say, Dynamo, who is Dynamo? My like मेरे बेटे का नाम Dynamo नहीं है. He's Adi for us. तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Then धीरे धीरे they got to know, like वो जिस कॉलेज में पढ़ाते थे, उनके जो colleagues थे, their colleague used to call my dad and tell them कि like my son want to miss your son, my son want to take a picture with your son. Then one day my dad came in my room. He said कि ऐसा तू क्या कर रहा है जो like ये लोग ऐसी चीजें बोल रहे हैं, like who is Dynamo? So I told my dad कि like मेरा एक in-game name, in-game character, his name is Dynamo. That's it. So people don't recognize me Adi in gaming community,
Correct.
in gaming world, they recognize me as Dynamo. That's it. So यहाँ से लोग मेरे को जानते हैं. So then he said, okay, ठीक है, अब जो चल रहा है चलने दो, अब देखते हैं अब क्या होता है. So that was his words.
And that's amazing that you had such supportive parents. At least they understood or empathized with what it is. So Adi, could you tell us one bit of good news, personal or outside, that's happened to you anytime in your career that has really made you feel really happy or hopeful inside?
I mean, I would say like my YouTube journey, because I'm gonna be reaching 10 million very soon. Okay, so when I cross 100K, 1 lakh subscribers, my goal was only to become, like just a normal YouTuber. I didn't want to become, the million club YouTuber. So when I saw my first silver play button, I was like, that the time I'm spending on this, the work I'm doing, it's like, it's giving me something, so I might become a 1 million YouTuber, maybe a 10 million YouTuber. So like, if you're putting your efforts in this community, if you're putting efforts in this, the YT channel or whatever, you will definitely see success in all these works you're doing. So I think that would be the best thing I can say from a YouTube career. Yeah, I mean, you can say that.
And if I were to ask you, throughout your esports or let's say gaming,
Huh.
streaming career as a creator, what is that one magic moment?
That fan moment, I would say. I mean, that's the first time someone, tell me that I look your content, I watch your content, I really appreciate what you're doing, and I'm your huge fan. So that I can say, like, that's the golden moment for me, and I will cherish that for whole life.
But Vineet, what are the hurdles you see for the industry as a whole, especially with this whole, differentiation? Because there's a massive thing that I want to touch upon as well, which is the difference between esports, fantasy sports, and other gaming, right? Like gambling and stuff like that. The game of skill concept comes into play over here. If you could just tell us what the other challenges are, it would be great.
Sure. So, couple of things. Yeah. So, I'll bucket this into 3, 4 parts. Okay. So the first part is absolutely, completely heartening to see Adi talking about his journey, because today, if you look at it, I mean, we have almost 250 to 300 million Indians watching some kind of a content created through gamers and content creators, as he calls himself. And people are spending almost 22 hours on an average watching this kind of a content per week. Now that's propelling growth, right? Now you spoke about challenges, right? Challenges, obviously, let's draw some challenge from the real world, right? Now the challenges are in typical Indian family, the priority for someone growing up is obviously education, right? I mean, we are absolutely fascinated with the school, the university, the colleges, and absolutely nothing wrong about that, right? Every Indian parent dreams of his son becoming the best engineer, the best doctor in the country, right? So absolutely fine. But how many people actually say that I want my son or my daughter to be the best gamer? I want my son or my daughter to be the best YouTuber, or I want my son or daughter to be the best sportsman, for example, right? So I think somewhere there is work need to be done towards that part, that there is an alternative career which is not exactly traditional academics, but around sport and gaming and stuff like that. So we need to work towards making these uh, industries mainstream in the first place. How do they become mainstream? The moment parents, the moment kids start seeing careers, and the story of Adi, which is so inspiring, about from 600 rupees to where he is today. I think these kind of stories need to be told. And that's what will bring in confidence, not only in people who want to become content creators, but also in the parents who obviously want to support their kids in various different alternative careers beyond traditional academics, right? So I think these are a couple of things which will help us pivot out of the current problem, whether to focus on sports, gaming, esports, or somewhere a balance of these things that to be brought in to forefront. Lastly, what you said about real money gaming and the differentiation between gaming, esports, leisure sports, I think that's an industry that's more of a B2B problem. Where the people within the industry will have to work with the authorities to possibly see what's best for us as a country, what's best for us as an economy. And I think a lot of work, a lot of federations, a lot of associations have been formed in that direction. Serious amount of work is made to create those compartments and differentiation. And we should see some kind of a professional approach or a white paper coming from corporates, from government very, very soon. So there's a serious amount of work and attention being given towards that.
When we talk about the commercial aspect, right? So from the industry side, that's one thing. But now, as a gamer who wants to go pro, look, there's one revenue stream that comes in from your YouTube career, because that's obviously something where you get the fame, the money, the clout, and that engagement, right? So advertisers would come on, because I'm guessing you'd also have an Instagram account. and that Instagram account would have blown up as well, and people would want to engage with you one-on-one out there, and brands would want to come on board. Do you think, Adi, that more brands need to be aware of what this is, or based on your experience over the past couple of years, brands are already fully abreast of this? They know exactly what the gaming scene in India is like, and they don't need to be convinced to put the big bucks behind gaming and influencers like you.
Yeah, see, so as you like told this key, you get revenue from your YT, right? Your YouTube or whatever it is. So that's true. You get income from YT. You get your income from your social medias, as in Twitter, your maybe Facebook, your Instagram as well. Okay. And you get your revenue from brands collaboration. You make videos, you promote brands, you go to some some maybe shop opening, like maybe like whatever it is, maybe some mobile shops, or maybe like some game shops, game stores, or whatever it is. So there's the big market, right? There's a big market. Once you get into this community, now once you get into the market, brands start approaching you. They'll tell you like their demands are this, you have to like do this, you have to make a video, you have to do this and that, XYZ. Okay, so you have a vast area to explore in this community. Okay, it's not about only the YT income you get, it's something way bigger than that. Okay,
Correct.
and if you get into this properly, you will explore a hell lot of things. Okay. You get fame, as you said, you get fame, you get fans as well, you get lots of love of the people, and of course there's money income as well. Like obviously you're giving your 10 to 12 hours a day, and you're making content, you're streaming the game to the platform, you are editing videos, you're uploading everything. So yeah, obviously like you get paid for that as well.
I'll just build on this and just break this down in three buckets.
Correct.
Basically. So see, you need to look at it from when you talk about brands. Okay, brands will look at it from a 3-tier model. Yeah, one is the traditional sponsorship model. Okay, second is the content creators and the way they would want to interact with short format videos and content that these guys create. And third, more interesting aspect of this is how can I make this entire gaming community as influencers, okay? And what can I do with them eventually to market my product, right? So if you have to break this down into two parts, you have endemic brands and you have non-endemic brands. I think the story about the whole gaming industry is about how are we going to be attracting the non-endemic brands to leverage the huge canvas and the opportunity that rests here, and that will propel the growth and the scale going forward in my mind.
So Vineet, as much as all these reports have nicely spoken about the industry numbers, we have one of the country's top gamers, and I know that people don't always review those videos do go viral, Adi, when you do reveal your YouTube income. But I'm not going to ask you to reveal your YouTube income. But if I was to become a pro gamer, the whole bucket, right? All the bells and whistles, gaming, streaming, esports, the fantastic leagues coming up in the country. What range of money could I be expecting to make in a month? I know I'm being direct with you, but I'm just talking about generally as a gamer. Now, you understand the industry. So if someone's watching this and is a huge Adi fan, a huge Dynamo fan, what kind of money could he expect to make if he put his heart and soul into this career?
I mean, see, it sort of depends upon what numbers you're getting out of your content. What views, like what kind of views, what kind of numbers you're getting out of content. If it's in millions, you're gonna make a good kind of money. Okay, if it's in
a few lakhs a month,
I mean, you can say that, yeah. So if it's in 1,000, if it's in lakhs, then the money will be like in thousands. Okay, so it's fluctuate every month. It fluctuates on your views, it fluctuates on the market, on the ads revenue, on the content that you're producing. Okay, so it's not stable every month. It's not like, for example, you're making X kind of money on January, so you want to make same kind of money on Feb as well. It's gonna be like above that, it's gonna be like below that as well. So that totally depends upon what kind of content you're making, what kind of views, and what kind of numbers you're getting of that content.
So basically, what I'm going to do, Adi, is I'm going to start a gaming channel very soon, because that might really pay the bill and make ends meet. And I hope I come across you in one of the Battleground games very soon. Vineet, thanks so much for joining us. And as Adi would say, one of his favorite lines, "But say headshot." Did I get it right?
Yeah. Yes.
But say headshot in the last one, because you almost answered the $1 million question. The top Google search has been answered. How much would a gamer or someone getting into esports or streaming make per month? Now, that was a fascinating session on esports, the new kid on the block. Adi, Vineet, thanks so much for joining us. And for those of you watching, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned to India Today.